don't really know where to begin, but let me say a word in response to what Frank was saying about the session, which is, he says that we should have 2 long sessions. I think they're too long already. And one thing I would say, of course it is very squeezed and it's chaotic, and I think the lesson to the legislators should be do less. Don't ask for more time, do less. And what I saw coming back like Rip Van Winkle after 25 years out of the legislature is that the process, that there's an attempt to do more and that the bills drag on further and that it's more of a mess than it was before. It would be better if we were more modest in our expectations. I will say I'm modest to this extent. My goal, Representative Sampson talked about getting suggestions from you for laws that need to be repealed. He and I at some point are going to kick off a real effort on that subject over the years, because my goal would be to leave my legislative career having been responsible for taking more laws off the book than I put on it. And I think that we come to a fundamental question about what the function of government ought to be. And this is what separates, I think, what separates Republicans and Democrats, broadly speaking. I have the greatest respect and fondness for Senator Bayh. I serve with Representative Becker on committees, and I think these are people of integrity and determination who want the best for the state. The question is, the problem is, we don't see the way to get there alike. And I think what it comes down to is the question of whether you think that government action improves the situation or worsens the situation. And I've reached the point of feeling, especially when it comes to business, that if we left it alone, it would be better all around. And that is, I'm accused of being an obstructionist for that reason. But I think that it's the essence of conservatism to say that you can't be changing the rules constantly. I'll say one thing just because it's up on that board about the executive orders, 2 executive orders, 9 and 10, which I'm very agitated about and have been doing my best to organize some kind of opposition to. We had bills before us during the session to unionize personal care attendants for the disabled and daycare workers. Those bills did not come through the legislature, a legislature that's very favorable to unions. They didn't get through because there were serious concerns about the impact they would have. During the summer, the governor, by executive order, made both of those bills law effectively. And I think it's a terrible precedent. I saw the same thing happen during the session when we had to go back and there was a need to make changes in the budget. Rather than have the legislature make those changes, the governor came to the legislature and asked for the rescission authority for his budget secretary, to make those changes unilaterally. The legislature gave him that authority, partly because it was a hot potato who wanted to deal with it, and partly because it's a Democratic legislature and a Democratic governor. I hope at some point, and that's a problem because it means that there's a reluctance to put the checks on the governor's power that need to be done. But you really feel at a certain point, if the bill is proposed and it doesn't go through, and the governor just does it anyways, what's the point of the legislature? Why are we up there 3 months or 5 months or any time? Just let the governor run things if that's what the legislature allows him to do and what the people want. I think you need to not simply tell us what your opinions are of these things, but look at the philosophy that governs our actions as legislators and decide who you think represents what you believe the right philosophy is. And I say that at a chamber meeting. It's a bipartisan meeting. I'm happy to work with these people. I enjoy working with people on both sides of the aisle. But you have to look at a certain point and say, who is representing my interests? And you have to give that side support, not simply during the session, but during the election that comes up this fall. Thank you.